Nichols on the line with us. He is the author of Uprising and also the Washington correspondent for The Nation, thenation.com. And he's based out of Madison, Wisconsin, where big happenings are going on. Hey, John, welcome to the program.
It's great to be with you, Tom. We've been telling this story for a long time, and it just keeps getting better.
Well, it's getting better now because this video came out. Let me just play this clip. This is Scott Walker and a billionaire donor to his campaign who, we can talk about it after the fact, but this was just a few days after he was inaugurated, if I have this right.
Yeah,
okay, here's the clip.
Well, the first step is we're going to deal with collective bargaining for all public employee unions, because you divide and conquer.
So let's take out the public employees, in other words, the government employees, and then you divide them from the private employees, that is the corporate sector employees, and conquer them. Do I have that right?
That's exactly. You got it, Tom. And there's more. You know, you're playing the right clip. That's exactly the guts of the thing. But as you look into more of the videotape, the raw footage and transcripts of the discussion, you find that Scott Walker says that busting the public sector unions, quote unquote, opens the door for the next step. And then later on, he says to this woman that his real hero among the governors is Mitch Daniels, although he's jealous of Daniels, because Daniels could wipe out public sector unions with an executive order, whereas Walker has to pass a law.
Right. According to the Wisconsin state constitution, you can't do that if you're governor. You have to actually have the legislature do it.
That's exactly right. But it is important to remember the Mitch Daniels story, especially in the context of this conversation, because Mitch Daniels was elected governor of Indiana after saying publicly that he would not try to pass a right-to-work law. He attacked public sector workers, but said he was only trying to balance budgets, not trying to destroy unions. And yet, in his second term, what did Mitch Daniels do? He helped to pass and then signed a right-to-work law which undermined the private sector unions in his state. So I think we have to ask ourselves, do we believe what Scott Walker says in public, or do we believe what he says to the woman who is his single largest campaign donor?
Right, who has given him over $500,000 now.
That's exactly right. And in fact, her donation to Scott Walker, and her donations actually came in a couple of increments and began just days after that conversation in the videotape. Her donations to Scott Walker are the largest donations ever to any candidate in the history of Wisconsin.
Wow.
It's also notable that she met with Scott Walker regularly in the aftermath of that conversation. She also found time to fly down to meet with the Koch brothers at their annual conferences in Palm Springs.
Now, I was looking on InTrade this afternoon, and the good news is that they've got Obama beating Romney 67 to 30-something. Mm-hmm. The bad news is that these are professional bettors all around the world who are fairly politically astute. They're placing, as of a few hours ago when I looked, it changes from minute to minute, but as of a few hours ago, they were placing the re-election of Scott Walker at 71%.
Yeah, I think look, there's a lot of betting that Walker can do this, and I don't think we should be unrealistic, Tom. Scott Walker has raised more than $25 million. He will raise that much again from people like this Diane Hendricks. He additionally has tens of millions coming in, and I cannot emphasize that phrase, tens of millions of dollars coming in from the Koch brothers and the DeVos family that support privatization of education and others. This has become the number one battleground for the right wing in America.
Well, and this is where they're testing all the strategies that they'll use in November.
That's exactly right. This is the first Citizens United election. Yeah. And here's an interesting thing. If the right, and if a corporate right prevails in saving Scott Walker in Wisconsin, I will guarantee you that those betting figures will switch for Barack Obama, because it will become increasingly clear that big money can, in fact, beat people power, and it can even beat the truth. And that's an interesting thing. We've got this videotape now showing Scott Walker specifically talking about dividing and conquering Wisconsin. We also have video of him saying the exact opposite to Congress. So the truth of the matter is, he gave deceptive testimony to the Congress of the United States. There's a lot to deal with here, but if progressive forces cannot muster the resources to counter those billions of dollars, well, I should say tens of millions of dollars that Scott Walker will have, then you've got a new Citizens United template, and it's a scary one.
It's basically the corporate ownership of America. I don't know if you saw the piece in today's New York Times about WPP.
Yes.
I mean, here you have, this is a British corporation that's buying up all the lobby shops, or most of the lobby shops, the big ones, Hill and Knowlton, Ogilvy and Mather's old government operations deal, the one that was started by Howard Dean that ultimately raised $100 million for Obama. All of them, left, right, Democratic, Republican, doesn't matter. All of them owned by one British company, and 60% in the state of California, they actually did a study. Nobody's, to the best of my knowledge, done a federal study unless you know off the top of your head. But in the state of California, about 60% of all laws introduced are actually written by lobbyists.
Well, there's no doubt that it's a pattern across the country. And Tom, I've got to tell you that what you're talking about there is smart business. If I had enough money to buy up all the lobbying shops, and frankly to buy up a lot of the other structural supports for corporate control of elections and governance in America, I'd do it.
Sure.
Because I might not do it morally, but just from a business standpoint, yeah, I'd be attracted to the idea. This is the way to make money in the 21st century if we don't push this Citizens United ruling back.
Yeah.
Simple reality is that corporations won't have to be good at what they do. They won't have to come up with new ideas or new products. They'll just have to hire the best lobbyists, and they win no matter what. And having control over the lobbying operations means that you can pretty much write your ticket.
Well, not only that, this company and many of the companies that they're buying are not just lobbying operations. They also have advertising agencies attached to them. They also have PR firms attached to them. Mm-hmm. So they can go to, and they have advocacy groups and super PACs attached to them in some cases. And so they can go into a state. They could go into Wisconsin, for example, and run ads. Do their own ads, run ads on behalf of Scott Walker, write the legislation that they want him to do after they save his neck or his life, or what, politically speaking, and then run the advertising and the PR to get the public to support it. I mean, it's a one-stop program. It's amazing.
You're so right, and it's going to it'll be if it happens. And I happen to have great faith in people power. I actually think Wisconsin could still go the other way, that the people can win this one. But I will tell you this. If Scott Walker prevails, it'll be like in one of those James Bond films where the PR, the corporate types will come in. They'll invite powerful political players into a room, and they will say, look at what happened with Scott Walker. He was exposed politically. He was totally threatened. He was facing defeat, and yet we were able to muster the money. We were able to create the political structures that saved him. We can do this for anyone.
Right.
And when they make that message, whoever's sitting in that room will be more than ready to pony up.
Yeah. And any politician who hears that will either get out of politics or will get with the program.